All right, let's talk about something that is a staple in almost every kitchen: bread. But lately, it's been getting a really bad rap, right? There's this storm of confusing health warnings about gluten, carbs, inflammation. It's a lot to sort through. I mean, for so many of us, bread is just, well, it's more than food. It's a whole ritual. You know, the smell of toast in the morning, a simple sandwich for lunch. These are the routines we've built our lives around. It's comfort. It's home. And that's the big question, isn't it? Especially when you're over 50. You start hearing all this chatter, and you can't help but wonder, is this simple pleasure I've enjoyed my whole life actually a hidden enemy? Is it contributing to joint pain or that stubborn belly fat? And this is the thought that so many people have. It feels kind of unfair, doesn't it? Like, just as you're supposed to be enjoying life, you're being told you have to abandon one of your favorite foods. It's a really frustrating place to be. So let me just put your mind at ease right away. The answer is no. You absolutely do not have to give up bread. But, and this is probably the most important part of this whole explainer, you almost certainly need to change the kind of bread you're eating. See, this isn't about deprivation. It's all about an upgrade. So let's start with public enemy number one, the one we all kind of know is no good for us. That classic fluffy white bread. The truth is that loaf in the plastic bag from the supermarket is basically a chemical imposter. And the way it interacts with an aging body, well, it's pretty damaging. Look at this comparison because it really says it all. As far as your body's concerned, a slice of white bread is not that different from a can of soda. Seriously, the flour has been stripped of everything good. All the fiber, the bran, the nutrients, leaving behind pure starch. Your body turns that into sugar almost instantly. It hits your bloodstream with the same speed as a sugary drink, and boom, you get a massive spike in insulin. And from there, it's like a domino effect. Now, for those of us over 50, our bodies are naturally becoming a little more insulin resistant. So that constant cycle of sugar spikes from white bread is basically a command to your body to store fat, especially right around the belly. Over time, this leads directly to a higher risk of type 2 diabetes, chronic inflammation, and yeah, even that nagging joint pain. If you're trying to fight that spare tire, white bread is your worst enemy. So you think, okay, easy enough. I'll be healthy. I'll just switch to whole wheat. You grab that brown loaf, you see the heart-healthy sticker on the bag, and you feel like you've made a great choice. Well, I'm really sorry to be the one to tell you this, but you've probably been tricked. The truth about most whole wheat bread you buy at the store is pretty shocking. There's this saying that gets thrown around in the food industry that just nails it. Most whole wheat is just white bread with a tan. What that means is that manufacturers will often take that same stripped-out white flour, maybe add a tiny bit of bran back in for show, and then literally dye it brown with molasses or caramel coloring. So guess what? It can spike your blood sugar almost as fast as white bread. It's a marketing trick, not a health food. But wait, it actually gets worse. A lot of these commercial whole wheat breads contain this nasty little compound called phytic acid. It's known as an anti-nutrient, and it does exactly what it sounds like. It actively stops your body from absorbing essential minerals from your food. And this is so important to get. This stuff isn't passive. It's an active thief. When you eat it, phytic acid literally grabs onto essential minerals in your gut, forms this unbreakable bond, and then just carries them right out of your body. They're gone, completely wasted. And look at the minerals it targets. These are the ones we need most as we get older. We're talking calcium for our bones, magnesium for our heart and muscles, iron for energy, and zinc for our immune system. So you're eating that whole wheat toast thinking you're doing something good, when in reality, you could be robbing your body of the very nutrients it needs to thrive. Okay, so white bread is sugar, and most whole wheat is a mineral-stealing scam. It sounds pretty bleak, right? But there is hope. And the solution isn't some fancy new invention. It's actually ancient. It's all about rediscovering how we used to make bread for thousands of years. The answer is true sourdough. And I have to stress true sourdough, not that fake sourdough-flavored stuff you see at the supermarket. Real sourdough is a process. It starts with a living starter, which is full of wild yeast and good bacteria. Then, during a long fermentation, like 12 to 48 hours long, these amazing little microorganisms go to work. They essentially pre-digest the gluten, which makes it way easier on your gut. And here's the magic part. They completely neutralize that nasty phytic acid, which unlocks all those minerals for your body to actually absorb.
And this chart right here really shows you the payoff. Look at that difference. White bread and commercial whole wheat send your blood sugar on a roller coaster. But real sourdough, the whole process slows everything down. You get this low, gentle rise in blood sugar. It becomes a slow-burning fuel, not a sugar bomb. And that right there is the secret to managing your energy, your weight, and inflammation, especially after 50.
Now, sourdough isn't the only hero in this story. There's another fantastic choice you can often find in the freezer section of your grocery store: sprouted grain bread. This is another ancient method where they let the grains actually start to sprout before they're ground into flour. That little step neutralizes those anti-nutrients and actually boosts the vitamin and protein content. It's usually dense, a little nutty, and incredibly good for you. All right, so we've figured out who the good guys and the bad guys are in the bread aisle. Now let's talk strategy. Because even when you have the best bread, how you eat it really matters. So here's your quick guide to eating bread smarter, starting right now. Okay, this is probably the single most important rule to remember. Never eat naked carbs. What on earth does that mean? It just means you should never, ever eat a slice of bread completely by itself. When you eat a carbohydrate all alone, it gets absorbed really fast and can still cause a pretty big blood sugar response, even if it's a good bread like sourdough. So the solution is to clothe your carbs. You've got to add a buffer of healthy fat and protein. So go ahead, slather that sourdough toast with real grass-fed butter, smash some avocado on top of it, dip it in some good olive oil, or my personal favorite, have it with a couple of eggs. The fat and the protein slow the whole digestion process down to a crawl, and that ensures you get that nice, gentle blood sugar rise we're aiming for. So please, don't be afraid of the butter, be afraid of the dry toast. And this right here is the final piece of the puzzle. You gotta read the label. Real bread is beautifully simple. It should have 3, maybe 4 ingredients: flour, water, salt, and a starter. That's it. Now look at the list for the fake bread. It reads like a chemistry experiment. High fructose corn syrup, soybean oil, dough conditioners. If the ingredient list is long and full of words you can't pronounce, that bread is bad news. It really is that simple. So here's your action plan. It's really simple. First, go look at the bread you have in your kitchen right now. If that ingredient list looks like a science project, just get rid of it. Second, start looking for real, long-fermented sourdough from a local bakery. And third, next time you're at the store, check the freezer aisle for a good sprouted grain bread. You see, the real message here isn't about giving things up. It's about choosing quality over quantity. You don't have to say goodbye to the amazing comfort of a warm slice of bread. You just have to upgrade your standards. Think about it this way. Life after 50 is all about enjoying the finer things, and that should absolutely include a delicious, nutritious slice of real bread.